Hello friends, our wonder story for this week is going to teach us a little bit more about animals and where they live. The special word for where an animal lives is called an animal's habitat. Can you say that with me? Habitat. Very good. All right, so we're going to look and see from the illustrations where animals live and see if we can learn a little bit more about their habitats. All right, so our story is called Welcome Home, Bear, a book of animal habitats. This book is written and illustrated by Il Sung Na. So he is the author and the illustrator, which means he wrote the words and drew the pictures in our story. All right, let's dive in and see what we can learn. Every morning, Bear woke up in the same green forest under the same blue sky. All right, so this is what a forest looks like. It has lots of trees, lots of green grass. One day, he thought, I will find a new home. So bears live in the forest. So that's what his habitat looks like. So he climbed up to see Bird, but her nest was so high in the trees. So there are the birds, and their habitat, you can see they live in the trees, right? And we know they make nests and things like that. So they're living in a tree, that's their habitat, but that's not a good habitat for Bear, right? Look at him, he's too high in the tree and he's gonna fall. He dug down to visit Mole. There's Mole. But it was stuffy underground, so it was kind of tight, and the dirt got in his nose. Oh, so it was hard for Bear to breathe down there with all the dirt. It was kind of stuffy. So not a good habitat for Bear, but we can see that that is where moles live. Moles live under the ground, and you can see the grass above the ground, and Mole is underneath there. So Bear's coming in from above and he's coming in to try, but he doesn't fit, and it's really tight and he can't breathe too well with all the dirt. He went to see Goat, but standing on her steep cliff made him dizzy. So goats that live in the wild, they live on cliffs. So you can see they're on the edge of a cliff and it's really high and he's afraid he's gonna fall. So you can see Bear, it's really, the goats are able to walk along the cliff and stay, but the bear, he wasn't made to be on a cliff. Look, he's afraid of falling into the water. So that's not a good habitat for him, but that's a great habitat for the goat because he was made to be in that habitat. He swam to Octopus, who was surprised to see him. Look how surprised Octopus looks. But the ocean was too deep. Oh no. So the habitat of an octopus is the ocean. Good. He found Polar Bear and the puffins. You see the puffins there? But the snow was so cold under his paws. Oh, so the polar bear, he was made to be in the snow. So his paws and his fur is made for that really, really cold weather. But Bear, he has fur and paws that were made for being in a forest where it's not so cold. So he's super cold. So not a very good place for Bear to live. So he went to see Camel. But now his paws were hot in the desert sand. Uh-oh. Can you say desert with me? Desert. Good. So deserts are really, really hot. Camels were made so that they could live in the deserts, and they don't need as much water. They're able to live in these really, really hot places in the world. A bear, he was not made for that. So his paws are super hot right now. So is that a good habitat for Bear to live? Probably not, right? Let's see what he finds next. He paid a visit to orangutan. So there's orangutan. but it rained and rained and rained. So the orangutan's habitat, or where the orangutan lives, is in a rainforest. And you can see there's a lot of rain here. So in this forest, it's different than Bear's forest. Bear lives in a forest too, right? We learned. But it's different than the rainforest. The rainforest grows plants that were made, that grow with lots and lots of rain, and they can live in really, really wet areas. Rainforests are very wet. So it's too wet for Bear, but it's perfect for orangutan. So that is where he lives. Let's see where Bear goes next. He decided to find the hippos, but there was mud everywhere. Oh, so the hippos, they stay in water and mud to keep their bodies cool. So that's why they're spending a lot of time in the mud here. So is that a good habitat for Bear to be in? He does not look like he's having a very good time in the mud. After visiting all his friends, Bear was tired. He wanted to be somewhere that was not too high, not too stuffy, not too steep, not too deep, not too cold, hot, rainy, or muddy. I wonder where he's gonna find a place like that. Where do you think, friends? Let's see. He knew just where he wanted to be. And where is he, friends? Yeah, he's back in his forest, relaxing. He's right where his habitat and his home is. And he looks very happy and content there, doesn't he? He looks very comfortable in his forest. Good. So what did we learn about some of the animals' habitats in our story today? We learned that, well, can all animals live in the same place? Or do some of them need different habitats? Yeah, some of them need different things. So Bear, he was like thinking he wanted to try a different home or a different habitat. But when he tried all those different places, he was like, it just didn't feel right for him. So he went back to his forest. What were some of the other habitats we noticed? How about the orangutan? Where did the orangutan live? Yeah, they lived in a rainforest. Good. How about an octopus? Where did the octopus live in our story? In the ocean. Very good. And how about camels? They live in the really hot desert. Very good. There were so many habitats in our stories and so many different places that animals can live around the world. Isn't that cool? I love learning about animals and where they live. So what you can do now is try to think of some of the habitats in our story, see if you can remember them, and draw a picture of the habitat that you liked. It could be your favorite one, or it could just be one that you noticed in our story. Draw one of the habitats from our story and maybe the animal doing something in its habitat. I can't wait to see what you decide to draw about, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, friends.